So now we have Arthur Halpern.
Okay, I think, first of all, it's really a pleasure to be here, partly because I started my journey to parenthood at this very meeting, September 08. My son was born June 6, 2011, so that gives you an idea of the time span. But this was really our kickoff. We came here totally uninformed, knew nothing about, cycles and drugs and what our options were, and this is where it began for us. So it's really exciting and a pleasure to sit here now and share my experience with you. So September, to give you the chronology, I think might be the easiest way to go. September 08, we came here, and then our first stop was really in March 09. My sister is an OBGYN, so I was lucky in that way, and she referred me to a colleague of hers at IVF New Jersey, Dr. Susan Treiser. So Dr. Treiser was our very first stop. We met with Dr. Treiser. She kind of gave us the roadmap as to what would happen, assuming that we followed this path. She also directed us to Melissa Brisman. All roads lead to Melissa Brisman. You should at least say hello. So that was March. April 2nd, 2009, I lost my job and freaked out because we were just embarking on this journey, and I was like, how are we going to do this without my job? My partner, Matthew, who's not here today, said, let's just do it. We're going to do it. Somehow or other, we're going to do it, and pushed us forward. In May of that year, I went to my college reunion. I won't tell you what year it was. There I met an old dear friend of mine who was on my freshman hall named David Milch. David said, where are you guys in your baby making process? And I was like, oh no, I lost my job. And he said, well, I have to tell you, we worked with an amazing gestational carrier who you would absolutely love, and she's thinking that she might want to do it again. And I kind of left thinking, yeah, right, like that ever happens. Those kind of connections never work. But sure enough, Dave, 6 weeks later, called me and he said, there's a Men Having Babies workshop. Jessica's flying up from Tennessee. I think that you and or Matt should be there and meet her. And so we dropped everything and all of our plans, and we got ourselves to this meeting and met Jessica, and the rest is history. Jessica ended up, it was almost like immediate chemistry. Obviously, we had this common bond, which made it a lot easier and a lot safer. But almost instantly, we loved Jessica. So we matched officially, we kept it all kosher and matched through Melissa's agency because we wanted it sort of legal and above board and everything, all of our, everything, done right. And so we matched in July. Jessica flew to New Jersey and had her testing in August. Everything was smooth sailing. We selected a donor in October of that year. And she was rejected by our IVF clinic because she was 26 years old and perimenopausal. So then we went with, we made a second choice, and she was actually rejected because she had a history of breast cancer in the family. They didn't want to introduce all of these hormones to her system, okay? We went with, by I think it was November, we found a third donor. We decided to go with an anonymous donor, a known donor as well. There are other options. You can go through an IVF clinic. It would actually have been a faster trip had we done that, but we wanted certain things that the clinic couldn't provide. Third donor, I'll try to make this really fast, but it's kind of unbelievable. The third donor we engaged in November, and she cycled once, and her follicle count was low. She cycled again for testing because they thought that she would be fine, and she actually got pregnant. And I had nothing. I was nowhere near her. So we're like, okay. We changed agencies, egg donor agencies, for several reasons. And this is something that echoes something that Dave was saying. You have to surround yourself with people who you trust. It's a long journey. I want to, if the message I guess that I want to give you is like, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I lost my job. My partner and I live in a 1.5 bedroom, like schlocky apartment in Brooklyn. We're not, the sort of stereotypical, you know, 2 salary, blah, 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 gay couple. It was a struggle for us to do it, but we did it. That being said, modify your expectations. Crazy things happen. We went through 7 donors. 7 donors. The 7th donor was finally our lucky donor. We had a pregnancy, we had someone who didn't really, we flew from Montana, she didn't really pass her psych screening. We had undisclosed Parkinson's in the family. We had someone who, once she sort of signed up with us, just stopped getting her period. Not sexually active, just no more menses. So we finally hooked up with our 7th donor, and of course everyone will tell you, and our IVF clinic said it, and Melissa's office said it. It was the right one. We have a beautiful son. We couldn't be happier. One thing that I want to say is that there are a couple of people who we kept very close to us during this process. We implicitly trusted our doctor and her staff. They were very good to us. They were very considerate. They're medically excellent, and we just decided, like, we'll put our faith in you. The other person was Jessica. None of us intended this at the get-go. We had a formal meeting. They asked us in this formal meeting through Melissa's office, like, how do you want the relationship to go after your child is born, assuming that you move forward with this relationship? And we're like, you know, cordial would be nice. No one's looking for a best friend. No one's looking for an auntie or you know, extended family. And and this sounds like everyone will tell you this, kind of, and we fell in love with Jessica. Like, really fell in love with her. And if there was any one person who supported us and pushed us forward despite these obstacles, so we didn't actually do our transfer, by the way, until October 2010. So it was about 1.5 years. And really, our stalwart person was Jessica. We spoke to her every week. We had amazing conversations that had nothing to do with pregnancy or parenthood or ovulation or anything. Okay, and I have women up. So that would be my advice off the top of my head. We can talk more also about some legalities and hospital issues if we have time.
Thank you.